Today we are going to make sock shoes. What are sock shoes? Well, they're socks that are shoes. They come in all kinds of different colors. I bought these. They're hot pink. I couldn't resist. Hot pink shoes are kind of my thing. Using t-shirts. If you're worried about staining your collectible figures, then I would stick to light colors. We will also be using craft foam. For my sock shoes, I'm using some pretty neutral colors, so I think we'll be okay. But first, we need a pattern. Take your miniature model's foot, place it on a piece of paper, and carefully trace around it. Cut it out to make a pattern. Trace the pattern onto cardstock. Make sure to flip it over for the other foot. Cut them out. This cardstock is pretty slick, so we're gonna give it a little traction. Using hot glue, I glue on t-shirt material. Then carefully trim off the excess. It looks like we made inserts for our shoes. I'm gonna put a little piece of ribbon in there to pretend like we have a label in there. Totally unnecessary. No one will probably ever see it. Place the fabric around the doll's leg, pinch it and hold it tight. Carefully cut around it. Place it on the doll's foot with the good side on the inside. Use a needle and thread. Sew around the foot. I'm just doing a straight stitch along the back of the leg and around the heel, pulling the fabric as I go to try and keep it nice and fitted. I stop when I get to the arch, then tie and make a knot, trim it, remove it, carefully flip it inside out, place it back on the foot, take the insert and bend it to the shape of the foot, place it inside of the sock, matching it at the heel, wrap the fabric around it, and carefully glue it in place. Start gluing at the front and the back, then glue down the sides. Place the pattern onto foam and trace around it. I'm adding a little extra around the edge because the fabric created a little bit of bulk. Cut it out, glue it onto the sock, take ribbon and glue it along the back seam and onto the bottom of the shoe. I left a tail end that we can loop over and tuck down into the sock. Remove it from the model so it can be glued in place, making a little loop. This helps to get the shoe on. This doll has a high instep, so we're gonna need to make a wedge. Place the foot on a piece of paper, draw the bottom and the arch, then go straight down and across. Make an allowance for the width of the heel, then draw that arch on the other side. Cut it out. I just folded it over to try and make sure that it was actually symmetrical. Place it on foam, cut around it, then place the foam on the bottom of the shoe. Now I used a sticky foam for my first layer, which is really helping with the placement because it just sticks to it. In hindsight, I should have glued the ribbon on after I attached the wedge. Fill the wedge with hot glue, allow it to dry, glue on a small piece of white foam, trace around the bottom of the shoe, add a little cap, cut it out, place it on the bottom, bring that little bit of extra foam around the front, and glue it in place. To make my first pair of sock shoes. Not bad. I definitely like the little toe cap in the front. I wish I was a little neater with my gluing here. I'm not crazy about that seam, but it works. I'm thinking this is one of those times where you'll get better the more you do it. Because practice makes better. When the doll has flat feet, follow all the same steps to get started. We've sewn it, flipped it, added the insert, add foam for the sole, add the ribbon, then skip the wedge and go right to the bottom sole with the toe cap to make a flat pair of shoes. The flats are so much easier and faster than the heels. And I'm loving the color. I gotta make a pair in pink. This is a very bright color, and if I'm concerned about staining, I'll just make sure that they aren't on all the time. I have them on for photos and then take them off afterwards. Now I'm just gonna use my pattern and make a pink pair. I definitely like the flats better. I mean, my shoes still have a little bit of a heel to them, but I'm still liking the flats better in miniature. I feel like these shoes have to be made in black. So I got an old t-shirt that's been washed like a billion times and made them in black. Loving the black. Totally getting some Balenciaga vibes here. This is the 4th pair that I've made, and I'm starting to get better. The guys' shoes are definitely easier than the girls'. Be sure you are using a precision tip hot glue gun, that way it's easier to control the glue. And for the girls that have that high arch, well, I'm just gonna let them stand on their tiptoes because the flats look way better than the heels. Yeah, big fan of the flats, not a big fan of the heels. But I love that we can now make miniature sock shoes. Thank you for joining us while we made sock shoes. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at MyFroggyStuff and the Frog Vlog. And you're done. Happy crafting!